Hello everyone, my name's Deshaun and today I'm here to give you a review of a movie that I most recently saw called Parasite. Yes, the Oscar-winning Parasite of last year, the first foreign film to ever win Best Picture, the most wins by a foreign film at the Oscars, Parasite. Now I heard about Parasite when it came out in about 2000, I can't remember when it came out, and I hadn't watched it because I had heard a lot about it, but it was a foreign film, and I'm not against watching foreign things. Obviously, I watched The Bodyguard, which is a British production, and I watched Kingdom, which is a Korean production. I believe it's a Korean production. It might be another kind of production, but I watched that. I've watched many of things like that, but admittedly, I didn't want to watch Parasite because I thought it was a horror movie. I thought it was going to have weird humor. I thought it was going to be just strange because a lot of things just don't translate well. So one day I got bored. It was on Netflix. on Hulu. It's on Hulu right now, by the way. If you want to go check out Parasite, it's on Hulu. So I check it out, and at first, when I heard it didn't have any, it wasn't dubbed. It was just, subtitles. I was a bit worried. I have to say, this movie is so good, I didn't care about the subtitles. Parasite is a good damn movie. Now, Parasite. I thought it was a horror movie. I thought it was about some kind of parasite jumping into people's bodies and jumping around, and it was some kind of horror movie. Turns out Parasite is more of a metaphor. Parasite is a movie about class. And the different class is a movie about class, and particularly the poor and the rich. And particularly what the poor are willing to do just to get crumbs from the rich, and how oblivious the rich can be to how much the poor are willing to do. That's basically, in a short nutshell, what this movie is about. So you start off the movie with this family, and they're the titular family. They're the parasite, so to speak, because this family is mooching. Not only mooching, but they're living off of this rich family and just living off of their lifeblood like a parasite. And the way they do it is, at the beginning of the movie, there's this family. They're poor. Really poor. I mean, they live in a crappy apartment. They can't even afford to get rid of the bugs. They can't afford beds. They can't really afford to... They don't know when their first meals are coming around. They're struggling. I mean, they think they're paying bills by folding boxes, for crying out loud. Like, they're doing the best they can. The sister didn't make it into college. The son didn't make it into college. The father lost multiple jobs. The wife lost multiple jobs. They are in a rough shape. They're in a rough place. And like I said, I've seen things like that, and I've seen things of that nature. Families living in places like that. There are people who come out of places like that stronger than ever. So I know that. And all of a sudden one day, the son, a childhood friend of the son shows up. Childhood friend, he knows who his friend is, and he shows up, and it's no big deal, it's a happy thing, seeing his friend, hey, let's go out and get some drinks, the best I can do, we're broke, so we can't really afford to really do too much for you. And his friend made it. His friend's in college. His friend's, he's in pretty good colleges. I mean, he's about to go on a European trip. He's about to go on a trip abroad, which is like going to Europe and America and studying different subjects and studying different cultures. So he's about to go on this trip. And his friend college friend has this crazy idea. He wants him to tutor this rich girl who he was tutoring. And he wants him to tutor him for two reasons. One, because he's his friend and he sees that him and his family are in rough times and that he needs a job and he needs a way to make some money. And his friend, and by the way, the kid, the poor kid, he's not that dumb. It's not like he's missing out on going to college by these long shots. He's just, there's small things he doesn't get. But he's not a dumb kid. He can sort of do some of this stuff. But the big reason why he wants his friend to tutor this girl is because he's in love with her. Because his college friend is in love with this girl that he's tutoring. He's heads over heels for her. He's gonna tell her to marry him he's gonna tell her to date him, potentially marry him once he gets back from abroad. But he doesn't want any other guy slipping in and taking her fancy and making her like him before he can get back. And he's uncomfortable with the idea of losing out on this opportunity because of responsibility. So he's like, look. Look, man, this is a win-win for me. You get to make some money. I get to make sure that I can come back and date this girl. Bam. And he's just looking out for a friend. So needless to say, he takes the job. He's not qualified for the job, but his sister's so good with tech. His sister's so good with technology that she's able to forge him documentation and whatnot to say that he's a qualified tutor. Which, it's hard to tell if he's a qualified tutor or not in the movie, or if he just hit the girl with the whammy, because before you know it, he is really charming the pants off of this girl, off of his college friend's girl that he told him that he was gonna date. He's charming the pants off of her. She's in love with him. She is heads over heels for him within the first time they meet. And next thing you know, but he's putting on a great show in front of the mom to show that, oh, he's a attentive tutor. He wants to make sure she gets these things right. And needless to say, they're dating. They're sort of kind of dating, making out behind the scenes while the mom's not looking. They're not upstairs studying. They're out upstairs making out. So it's hard to tell if he's actually a good tutor or not. We know that's kind of a sleazy thing to do if your friend tells you this, and the first thing you do is start dating his girl. Kind of dating the girl that he told you, that he was gonna date. So it's already starting off like, okay. But then something happens with the son, where the wife of the household goes, oh, the son's kind of, hyperactive, Ritalin kid, basically. Not Ritalin, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, he's all over the place. And he said that he had a tutor once. A psychologist that worked with him and helped him deal with his issues and helped him work through his emotions better than just being, erratic. And son has an idea. What if my sister does the foraging for herself, pretends to be a world-renowned psychologist who works with children, and then we're double dipping into this household. We're making more money for our household. They can afford to pay for all of this. They're rich. And the wife is pretty naive. The wife's the kind of woman who, if she doesn't know the answer and you present her with something that seems really logical, she'll just believe it. She'll just go, well, that seems logical, so I'm gonna believe what you just said. That's kind of the person the wife is. And the father, who's like this rich tech guy, he isn't around that often. And they take advantage of that. Next thing you know, something happens to the driver. Their father comes in to replace the driver. And then something happens to the nanny, and their mom comes in to replace the nanny. And they have literally replaced. And no one, and the mom and the husband and the wife have no clue that any of them are related. They have different names. They have different backgrounds. They don't forge backgrounds. They have no clue that they're related. They are running this huge scam, this huge con on this family to supply themselves with more money. And throughout the course of it, I'm not going to spoil it for you, it just gets crazier and up and down, and things happen that you don't see coming. And it's an interesting movie, to say the least. I give Parasite a 9 out of 10. It is an interesting movie to watch. It really is fascinating, and it really makes you ask a lot of questions. By the end of the movie, you're asking even more questions. By the end of the movie, you're conflicted of if what they're doing is even that bad, or how bad is it, or, if they can do the jobs. You're very conflicted by the end of the movie. And I had a good time watching this movie. I did not mind that it was by the time I was halfway through the movie, I had noticed that I had stopped thinking about the subtitles, because I was just so ingrained. I would say it's kind of like when I watched Narcos for the first time. Narcos, if you don't know, a lot of it is in Colombian. Is in I guess maybe that's Spanish. I'm sorry, I'm bad, but a lot of it is in a foreign language, and at first it was off-putting, but I was so enthralled by the story. I was so into the story. I was so caught up in the story of Pablo Escobar and shit, that eventually, about a couple episodes in, I was just like, okay, I'm just rolling with it. I'll pause it occasionally if they're talking too fast and I miss something. And other than that, I'm just rolling with it, man. I'm just like, I ain't got time, dude. This is too good. I keep going. And that's how I felt watching this movie. So thank you guys for joining the Complicated Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.